So in the previous class, we were having Chebyshev filter design. So just we'll be going through the overview. So this was the transfer function, the magnitude response. So in the transfer function, this will be the magnitude response, where C and X was the Chebyshev polynomial we have seen. Okay, and its value is given in terms of cos and cos hyperbolic functions. And this was the response. So in Chebyshev polynomial, it is of type 1. So basically we will be dealing with the type 1 type of system. So in this type 1 Chebyshev polynomial design, Chebyshev approximation method, we will be having the response like this: pass band will be having some ripple, and stop band will not be having any ripple. Okay, so it's opposite is in the type 2 type of Chebyshev approximation method. So we will be only dealing with this type 1 type of Chebyshev filter design. So there, the start of the magnitude response will be with respect to 1. This will be your highest value, whatever magnitude is highest with respect to that. If n value is odd, it will be starting from here, and if n value is even, it will be starting from delta 1 value. Okay, so we have seen into the previous class. And the generalized representation of specification of a filter is given in this term. So we have seen this also, like it is ranging from delta 1 to 1, and it could be less than delta 2, that is stop band attenuation. So once we know delta 1 and delta 2, from there we have to find out the value of n. Okay, and also the value of cutoff frequency. So this frequency are in terms of digital frequencies. So based on the method, either impulse invariance method or bilinear transformation method, we will be finding out the analog frequencies like omega 1 and omega 2. So whether by using delta 1, delta 2 and omega 1 and omega 2, we will be finding out the n value. Okay, that is order of the filter. So delta 1 is given if uh, epsilon is given, we will be finding out delta 1. Either if delta 1 is given, we can find the epsilon value by using this formula, or epsilon could be given in terms of this. Okay, so once we know the value of frequencies and this, we can find out the value of n. So we have seen like what is the generalized formula for finding out the n value order of the filter in case of Chebyshev polynomial. So once we have find out the omega value and order of the filter, we will be having the transfer function of Chebyshev polynomial. It will be same as the transfer function that is given in the Butterworth filter. So for n is equals to even, okay, if n is even, this will be the formula, and if n is equals to odd, this will be the formula used. Okay, so where different coefficients bk, ck, and c0 will be given by this, where this yn is a value that will be given with respect to the attenuation, passband attenuation value. So epsilon value will be given into the question as a specification in terms of delta. So from delta we can get the epsilon value. From there we can get the value of y of n. And also the capital BK will be given by this formula, where this is for n equals to even and n equals to odd. This will be the formula. So based on that, we can get the transfer function of Chebyshev filter. Okay. So once we can get the directly the transfer function, but we suppose we need to find out the poles, location of poles of Chebyshev filter design. So in that Chebyshev filter, we will be finding out the poles. So these poles will be lying on an ellipse. Okay, so whatever poles will be there, the location of poles will be uh, giving you a locus. This location of poles will be giving you a ellipse. Okay, so this ellipse will be having this r2 gives you the minor axis, and this r1 gives you the major axis. Okay, so this will be your ellipse. So all the poles will be lying on the ellipse. So its r1 and r2 values will be given in terms of r1 will be cos hyperbolic y, and r2 will be equals to sine hyperbolic y. And this r1 and r2 values will be given with respect to the beta. So beta will be a function of epsilon value, that is passband attenuation, whatever passband attenuation epsilon value is there. With respect to that, we will be finding out beta, and this beta will be used to find out the R1 and R2 value along with the analog frequency, that is the passband frequency, whatever passband frequencies are there, we can find this value that will be equals to cos hyperbolic y and sin hyperbolic y. Okay, and this epsilon value in that formula, the same formula will be there for epsilon calculation, but this formula is when delta 1 is given in dB. If delta 1 is given in dB, epsilon value will be this, or epsilon value is given like this epsilon value could be either 1 by delta 1 square minus 1. This is when delta 1 is not in dB. Okay, so if delta 1 is not in dB, then this formula will be used. If delta 1 is in dB, this formula will be used, okay, for calculation of epsilon value. So by using epsilon value, we will be finding out the beta. By beta, we can get the value of R1 and R2. Once we have got the value of R1 and R2, from there we will be getting the location of poles in case of Chebyshev filter design. Okay, this is the location of poles in case of Chebyshev filter design. These poles will be normalized poles. So normalized poles are given when omega c, that is cutoff frequency, is given by 1 radian per second. If this is the condition, then whatever the location of poles will be there, that will be uh, represented by this sk value, that is r2 cos theta k plus j r1 sin theta k. So one more parameter, that is theta k, is there. So this theta k will be calculated by this formula. Okay, so this theta k will be varying with respect to different k value, where k will be varying from k equals to 0 to n minus 1, where n will be giving you the order of the filter. Okay, so this is the overview of this. So with respect to that, we will be going with the problem. So in this Chebyshev polynomial, we need to design a Chebyshev filter where the maximum pass band attenuation, this pass band attenuation is 2.5 dB. So pass band attenuation will be represented by delta 1, and pass band frequency is given this, stop band attenuation is this, and stop band attenuation frequency is given by this. So from there we can get the value of n. Okay, so before that we need to find out delta 1 value in the value form, and similarly delta 2 value. Okay, so this will be with respect to your if it is given in dB. So with respect to that other value, we will be finding out this value. Okay, so with respect to that, along with the omega p and omega s value, this n value we will be calculating. So once we have calculated the n value, uh, this n value that we will be calculating is 2.727. So it will be an integer, so we will be making it to 3. So once we know the n value, with respect to epsilon value, we will be finding out beta. Once we have found out beta, we will be finding out R1 and R2. And once we have found out the R1 and R2, we will be finding the theta. Okay, so with respect to n, that is 3. So k should be varying from 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so there will be 3 values of theta. So we will be finding out 3 values of theta. With respect to these 3 values of theta, we will be finding the directly poles now. Okay, so poles will be varying this theta value for three different thetas, and r1 and r2 value will be constant. So with respect to that, we will be getting s1, s2, and s3. That means there are 3 poles to this given system. Okay, so 3 poles are there. So if uh, we know this sk value, so once we know the sk value, the transfer function basically will be given by h of s, and this h of s will be equals to a constant k divided by s minus your whatever value is there, that is in terms of the poles we are getting like s0. Suppose in this by this equation we are getting different poles. So suppose first pole is s0, again another one is s1 is the pole location. Okay, and so on. Okay. So this will be the generalized formula of the transfer function in case of we know the poles location. Okay, and where this k value, so this k value, that is a constant, it will be a constant. So this will be called as the numerator part. So this is the transfer function, this is the numerator part, and this is the denominator part. So this will be a constant, and this constant will be numerator part. We will be finding out like how it is depending on this location. So with respect to this uh, s value, we will be getting different k values. So the k values will be again depending on this constant. So whatever constants are there in this formula into this location of the poles, we will be finding this k value. So it will be either v0. Okay. So after expanding this, whatever constant will be there in the into this expansion, after multiplying this, whatever constant value will be there, suppose this is b0, so this b0 will be your k value. Okay, for n is equals to odd. If n is equals to odd is there, then whatever after expansion of this denominator, whatever constant value will be there, independent of s value or s factor, that value will be constant, your k value. Otherwise, this k value will be given by whatever b0 is written divided by 1 plus epsilon square. Okay, so this is for n is equals to even. Okay, so this is how after getting the this normalized pole location, by using the pole location we can get the transfer function. Okay, so this transfer function will be looking like k divided by this. Okay, so this k value will be a constant value, and this will be the multiplication of s minus s0. S0 will be the first location of the pole, this will be the second location. Suppose there are k locations, so this will be multiplication. After multiplying and simplifying, whatever the constant value will be coming out, that will be your numerator value. Okay, if n is odd, if n is even, in that case whatever constant will be coming after expansion of this will be divided by under root 1 plus epsilon square, that will be your k value. Okay, so in this question, like once we know the location of this poles, we will be multiplying it. So this denominator part of the transfer function will be the first one, s minus this term. So s minus, it will be s plus 6 plus 6 in bracket. It will be the second term will be s minus minus 3.3 plus j 18.23. Okay, so this will be the second term, and similarly the third term will be, the multiplication will be s minus minus 3.3. Instead of minus, it will be now the plus. So there is a mistake, so either of these two will be a minus. Okay, so one of these two will be minus. We will be making sure. So let me check. So this value is okay. So this is j r1. So what was r1? R1 was 21.6, 21.06 into sine k. The first value of k is sine 2 pi by 3. Okay, so sine 2 pi by 3 will be your uh, this will be in terms of if we divide it, uh, it will be in the fourth quadrant, no? So this value will be in the fourth quadrant. So yes, so at that time it will be a negative value. Okay, so this first term will be negative value because sine theta, this will be the negative value. Okay, so here it should be minus. Okay, so we will just make sure it is minus. So in this case it will be plus. So these two will be of conjugate nature. Okay, so always the complex poles are there, so complex poles always exist in the uh, opposite direction. Okay, so 3.3 it will be plus J18.23. Okay, so after multiplication of these two, we will be getting this function. Okay, once we have multiplied, this will be the constant term. Okay, and this will be the constant term. After multiplication of these two terms, that is s plus 6.6, and after multiplication of these two terms, we will be getting the constant in that expansion will be multiplication of this term and this term. So we will be multiplying these two, that will be equals to this. So the numerator of this h of s will be given by the constant one, because here n is equals to odd, because n is equals to 3 is there, so it is odd. So by the previous consideration, like whatever numerical and numerator part will be there, that will be directly, if n is equals to odd, it will be b0. B0 will be the constant term after expansion of these two. After expansion of these two, after multiplication, whatever the last term will be there, that is constant, will be your uh, numerator part. Okay, so this will be finally the transfer function that we require with respect to our given specifications. Okay, so there are some other questions we will be seeing later into the class. Okay, so now we will start with the next topic, that is the last topic of this second unit. So okay, so the next topic is frequency translation. Sorry, the frequency transformation. So basically what happens, till now we have studied like how we can design a low pass filter in terms of analog frequency. Okay, in terms of analog low pass filter, and once we have designed that low pass filter, we are going to convert that low pass filter that is in analog form to a low pass filter that will be represented in terms of digital form. Okay, so up to that we have seen like this, we have only focused on the low pass filter only. Okay, but in practical applications we only and we not only require a low pass filter, we also need to have different other filters like high pass filter, band pass filter, and band stop filters. So once we have gone through the low pass filter design, we will be converting this low pass filter to any of these filters. So how conversion takes place, what are the different mathematical expressions, representation, or mapping that we will be using to convert this, that comes under the frequency transformation. So basically frequency transformation is, as the name suggests, we are going to transform the frequency of the low pass filter to convert that low pass filter into high pass filter, band pass filter, and band stop filters. Okay, so there are different steps, like a system function of low pass filter analog filter is given, low pass analog filter is given. So we will be applying frequency transformation, and this frequency transformation will be converting to transformation for digital filter. So it will be converting uh, analog filter to a digital filter. Okay, so we will be seeing like the first step we will be seeing is, suppose we are having an analog filter and we want to convert an analog filter into an analog filter only. Okay, so if an analog filter is given, we are going to convert an low pass analog filter to another analog filter, either it could be high pass, band pass, or band reject. Okay, so or there could be a possibility like low pass filter is given that is having cutoff frequency omega c, but again I want to change this low pass filter to another low pass filter that is having a different cutoff frequency, that is omega c star. Okay, so this is omega c star is there, that is a modified cutoff frequency of the same low pass filter. Okay, so in that case what we will be doing is, once we know the transfer function of a low pass filter, we will be replacing this s value by omega c. Okay, so we will be replacing this s value by using the term omega c divided by the new omega, okay, omega c star into s. So this is how the replacement we need to make, like we need to replace s with this term, then the new low pass filter will be having a cutoff frequency of omega c star. Okay. Okay. So if the system response of the prototype filter, suppose the prototype filter is having HP of S, the system response of the new low pass filter will be whenever S will be there, this S will be replaced by, so HP is the prototype, we are going to replace it to get the low pass filter, and that will be having a low pass filter that is having different cutoff frequency, that is omega c star. Okay, this is the modified cutoff frequency low pass filter. Similarly, a low pass filter is there with the cutoff frequency of omega c, and we need to find out a high pass filter with a cutoff frequency of omega c star. Okay, so in this case, what we need to do is in a log low pass filter transfer function, we will be replacing this s value by omega c into omega c star divided by s. Okay, whenever s is given, we will be replacing it with respect to this value, that will be converted to a high pass filter with cutoff frequency omega c star. Okay, is it simple? So it looks like simple. Okay, similarly, if a low pass filter is given that is having cutoff frequency omega c, and we need to convert it into band pass filter with lower cutoff frequency, because it is band pass filter, means if a band pass filter is there, its magnitude response will be given like band pass is there. Okay, so some range of frequencies will be passed, so at the starting it will not be not passing, so it will pass, so it will be having higher magnitude, then again it will be stopping. So this frequency is called your omega L, that is lower, and this is omega U, that is higher frequency. So this is lower frequency after which the signal will be passed, and this is upper frequency till which the signal will be passed. Okay, so there will be a band, so this will be your band pass filter. Okay, so this is your magnitude response of a band pass filter. So two frequencies will be there in case of a, that is omega L, that is lower frequency, and omega 2, that is omega 1 and omega 2 is written. Okay, it will be either omega L or omega U. So omega 1 and omega 2 is written, so it is a lower frequency and upper frequency. So in that case, we will be replacing the transfer function of low pass filter. Whenever S is coming out, this S will be replaced by omega C into S square plus omega 1 omega 2 divided by S omega 2 minus omega 1. Okay, so this is how we need to make a replacement. So after replacement, this will be our band pass filter, and we will be replacing this low pass filter with this term. Similarly, a low pass filter is given with cutoff frequency omega c, and we need to uh, find out a band stop filter with the lower cutoff frequency omega L, that is omega 1 again. Okay, so omega 1 and higher cutoff frequency omega 2. So in case of band stop filter, so what is a band stop filter? So it will be passing the signal up to a range, that is omega 1, and after that it will be stopping for a band. Okay, so it will stop the passing of a signal for a fixed amount of frequency range. So this will be providing you. Okay, so this will be omega 2. So this is the pass band, and this is stop band, this is pass band. So it will be passing to a certain range of frequencies. Then for a band of frequency, this is a band ranging from omega 1 to omega 2. In this band it will be stopping the signal. So once it is stopping the signal, it is band stop filter. Okay, so to make it further tuning, suppose it is more tuned, then it is looking like this. It is fine, so it is like this. So this is called your either band stop, or we call it a notch filter, NOTCH. Okay, it is not filter is also known to this. Okay. So if this is the case, in that case, omega 1 and omega t are the different frequencies. With respect to that, we will be replacing this n s value, that is in case of low pass filter. In that low pass filter, we will be replacing s with this term to get the value of band stop filter. Okay. So if we make a summary, okay, this is like summary of all the convergence, like convergence in analog frequency. So basically we are doing this convergence frequency conversion, or we call it by frequency transformation in analog filter domain. Okay, so once a low pass filter we need to design, it will be, this is the just summary, this will be the replacement. In high pass filter, this will be the replacement, again band pass and band stop. Okay, so this is just the replacement into the whatever low pass filter we have done. So once specification is given, first we need to convert that specification to a low pass filter, and then by using frequency transformation we will be changing that low pass filter to another our desired frequency filter design. So up to now, it was conversion of analog frequencies or transformation of analog frequencies. Now we will be converting a digital filter to another digital filter. Okay. So suppose we already have a digital filter, and that will be having a transfer function of Hz. Okay. So Hz will be our transfer function. So now this is for low pass filter. And now we are going to convert this low pass filter to either again a low pass filter with other cutoff frequency, or high pass filter, or band pass filter, or band reject filter. So based on the transfer function of low pass filter, that is either in analog or digital. So if it is in digital, we will be following a replacement or transformation. This frequency transformation will be given by some other formula. So we will be taking that note of this formula. So here in this the digital form of transfer function of low pass filter, we will be replacing z to the power minus 1 by another function that will be again a function of z to the power minus 1. So we will be replacing z to the power minus 1 with the function of z to the power minus 1. So suppose uh, a low pass filter is given, and in that we need to change that cutoff frequency. In that case, we will be going to replace z inverse by another term, a function of z inverse term, where it will be z inverse minus alpha divided by 1 minus alpha z inverse. So where alpha will be sine omega c minus omega c star divided by 2 to the whole divided by sine omega c plus omega c star divided by 2. So this will be omega c star will be your new cutoff frequency. Okay, so like in uh, analog part we have seen, so this will be your new cutoff frequency. Okay, so this will be your new cutoff frequency. So similarly, if low pass filter is given and we need to convert it to a high pass filter, we will be replacing z inverse by this term. Okay, where alpha will be given by this term. Okay, similarly, if a low pass filter is given into the digital form, then that low pass filter can be converted to a band pass filter by replacing this z inverse into the low pass filter by this term, where A1, A2 will be given by this term, and alpha will be given by this. So this is alpha. Okay, and this k value will be given in terms of this. So this will be the function of your cutoff frequency, new cutoff frequency, and omega 1 and omega 2. Okay. Similarly, in case of a band stop filter, if band stop filter we need to convert from a low pass filter, we will be replacing z inverse by this term, and this is the constant value. Okay, so in this frequency transformation, basically we are going to have conversion from either an analog filter to another analog filter with a different cutoff frequency, or to another analog frequency with different overall functioning. So either it is low pass filter, it will be converted to high pass, band pass, or band reject. Okay, the same could be done in case of once we have the digital transfer function of digital filter, the transfer function of digital filter. So that was the basic concept while converting a frequency into another type of frequency value. Okay, so this conversion from one frequency to another set of frequencies is called your frequency transformation. So with respect to that frequency transformation, we will be converting to any low pass filter to any other desired filter specification. Okay. So we will be taking an example like how this basically does. So suppose we are having already given a low pass filter transfer function. So suppose a prototype low pass filter is given such that its transfer function is given by hs is equal to omega c divided by s plus omega c. Okay, and we need to convert it into a high pass filter. So once we are going to convert it into a high pass filter that is having a cutoff frequency of omega c star, then what we need to do is we need to replace this s. Okay, we need to replace this s by high filter specification mapping that we have studied in the previous slides. Like it is an analog transfer function of a low pass filter. So we will be replacing analog transfer function to another analog transfer function. So this s value will be replaced for high pass filter is omega c into omega c star divided by s. Okay, so we will be replacing it. So whenever s is coming out into the transfer function formula, we will be replacing it by this term. So this term will be written here, and after solving, we will be getting this. So this will be the specification, this will be the transfer function of a high pass filter with the cutoff frequency omega c star. Okay. Uh, so this is another example. Like we need to design an band pass filter. Okay, we need to design a band pass filter to satisfy the following specifications. So if it is a band pass filter, so if it is a band pass filter, it will be passing a certain range of band. Okay, so this is like an ideal band pass filter magnitude response. But if we talk about the practical, instead of being highest from 0 to 1, like it is magnitude in case of normalized magnitude 1, similarly, but in case of practical one, it will not be like that. It will be this way. Okay, this will be the magnitude response of band pass filter. This is the practical one. Okay, so in that, so this is the maximum value, that is 1 normalized value. If this value is the cutoff frequency value, so it will be 1 upon root 2 value. So this is 1, this is 1 upon root 2 value, this is there, and value that will be, this is called your delta 1 value, whatever delta 1 value is given, and then this will be your delta 2, that is stop band attenuation value will be there. So with respect to that, there will be two frequencies will be there for cutoff frequency. Okay, so cutoff value, whatever 3 dB value will be there, cutoff value we call it, or 3 dB value. So if 3 dB value is given, with respect to that, two frequencies will be there. Okay, and another, with respect to stop band attenuation, we will be having two frequencies. Okay, so we will with respect to that, we will see that. So here in the question it is given like 3 dB upper and lower cutoff frequencies are 100 hertz and 3.8 kilohertz. So 3 dB cutoff frequencies in upper and lower. Okay, so in upper and lower it is 100 hertz and 3.8. So this will be your 100 and this will be your 3.8 kilohertz. Okay, this value and this value. The next is stop band attenuation is 20 dB. Stop band attenuation is 20 dB at 20 hertz. So this will be your 20 hertz, and the next one will be your 8 kilohertz. It will be 8 kilohertz. Okay, so this is how the specifications should be depicted into the magnitude response, and there is no ripple into the stop band and pass band. So there is no ripple in either of the cases. So we will be converting this hertz values into radian, because omega value, whatever omega value we will be taking consideration of, that should be in terms of radian per second. So omega 1 and omega 2 we will be finding out then omega L and omega U. So this is the cutoff frequencies. This is cutoff frequencies into the lower side and upper side, and this is stop band attenuation. Okay, 1 and 2 we call it. So we have converted it into radian per second, and delta 1 and delta 2 values are given. Like delta 1 is, that is pass band attenuation, and that is delta P in dB, it is 3 dB. Delta 2 is value is 20 dB, that is delta stop band. Okay, so we need to find out the value of n. Okay, so first of all we need to find out the value of n. So to find out the n value, what we need to do is, so here there is no method mentioned. Okay, either we need to use Chebyshev or we need to use a Butterworth filter design. So it has assumed like we are going to use Butterworth filter method. Okay, so in that case, to get this Butterworth filter assumption, with respect to that Butterworth filter assumption, the value of n was given like log 10 in bracket 1 upon delta 1 squared minus 1 divided by 1 minus delta. So if it is given in dB, so it has already converted dB into the direct value. So this could be the formula used. Okay, so instead of dB is given, either convert this dB value into a normal value. This normal value will be retained here. So, and with respect to this omega 1 pass band and stop band frequencies, we will be finding out this value. So this n value will be given out this. So before that, there are basically two pass band and attenuation and two stop band attenuations are given. Like two frequencies are given. So omega LC is given. This is the cutoff frequency, and this is also a cutoff frequency. This is, or you can say this is pass band frequency, and this is also a pass band frequency, higher and lower. Similarly, this stop band frequencies are two stop band frequencies are given. So either of these two, whatever stop band, because in the formula it should be written like omega S divided by omega P we require. Okay, so to specify the given specification, to satisfy the given specification, we should be using minimum of these two ratios. So whatever ratios are given, with respect to that, we will be finding out the minimum of this. So we will be finding a value that is given by this, by including all the uh, terms, cutoff, stop band attenuation and pass band attenuations. By considering this, we will be finding out a value this and b value this. Out of this, whatever will be the minimum value, that will be the minimum value that will be satisfying the given particular condition. If we choose the higher value, what happens? It may be like it will not be satisfying all our cutoff frequencies. Okay, so we need to choose the lower value to find out the cutoff frequency. So this lower value will be deciding this n value. Okay, so we will be taking lower value to decide the n value. So once we have decided the n value, so this will be the n value, and with respect to that, we will be finding out like the cutoff frequency will be given by the second higher cutoff frequency value. Okay, upper one, and the normalized pole location was given by this formula in case of Butterworth filter. So this will be the formula, and n value is 4. So with respect to that, the k should be varying from 0 to n minus 1, that is 3. So 4 different pole locations will be there. So we will be finding all the pole locations. Okay. So once we have find out the pole location, the transfer function will be given by 1 upon this s minus s0, s minus s1, s minus s2. Okay. So with respect to that, after putting this value, we will be multiplying. Okay. And after solving, we will be getting this. Okay, finally we will be getting this as the analog transfer function of the band pass filter. Okay, sorry, this will be the analog transfer function of basically this, whatever methods we follow is for only the low pass filter. Okay, so whatever methods we have studied, that was for low pass filter. So once we have designed the low pass filter with respect to that cutoff frequencies, we will be converting this low pass filter to a band pass filter. So we will be converting that low pass filter to a band pass filter. Okay, so to convert a low pass filter to a band pass filter, we will be using this mapping. Okay, in this mapping we will be putting all the values, and from there we can get directly the value of this another transfer function. So by putting all the values, this will be your final next one. So after simplifying and putting all the values, finally we will be getting your analog transfer function for a band pass filter. Okay, so this is how we will be proceeding to find out the different filter designing by using either Butterworth filter or by using Chebyshev method. Okay, so up to here, if anyone is having any doubt, you can ask. Okay, otherwise we will be taking one more example. किसी को कोई डाउट है? Okay, so in case of Chebyshev method, we have seen this example. We will be seeing the next example. Like suppose another example is there. In that example, this is the given specification for a low pass filter is given. Okay, so we need to design a Chebyshev filter, Chebyshev digital filter using impulse invariance transformation. So we need to use impulse invariance method to convert this analog specification to a digital filter. Okay, so with respect to this specification, we can find out the value of delta 1 and delta 2, and this will be your omega p, that is in case of digital frequency, digital passband frequency, and this will be the stop band frequency in case of digital stop band frequency, because this is in terms of omega. So this omega is representing the digital frequencies. Okay, so from there we will be finding out, and here it is written like we need to use digital the Chebyshev digital filter method. So in case of digital Chebyshev filter method, so we need to find out is, before finding out the n value, we need to have epsilon value, and along with that the pass band and stop band attenuation frequencies are there. The ratio is also required, so we will be finding out that ratio and epsilon value. After putting this, we can get the value of n value, that is the filter value will be given is equals to 3. So once we know the filter value, we need to find out the poles. Okay, so this is the formula for the finding the poles. So in that formula, we are requiring R2 value, and we need to find out the R1 value. Along with that, we need to find out the theta k value. So to find out R2 and R1 values, we need to uh, have the value of beta. So we will find out beta by using the formula, given formula we have discussed into the previous lecture, the same with the previous PPT. The same formula will be used. So once we know the n value and also know the epsilon value, we can get the value of beta. So once we know the value of beta, from there we can get the value of R1 and R2. So all the three values will be a constant values, and theta value will be having a different variation with respect to n value. So n is 3 here. So with respect to 3, there will be 3 different theta values. So we will be using this theta value, 3 different theta values. By putting this into the equation, we can get S1, S2 and S3, 3 different poles location. Okay, so S1, once we will be putting theta 1, that is 2 pi by 3, and we will be getting this as value. This is the first location of the pole. Similarly, by putting the two next values, we will be getting S2 is equals to this, and S1 is equals to this. Okay, so always we can note like the two poles, if it is in conjugate or two imaginary poles are there, then they will always exist in complemented form. Okay, or conjugate form. So once we know the poles, we can find the denominator transfer function. Denominator of this HS, that is transfer function का जो denominator होगा, that will be directly given as minus this value, whatever pole location is there, into S minus the first one, this one location, and then into S minus this location, pole location. And after solving, after multiplication of these two, whatever constant value will be there, that will be the numerator one. So after multiplying this value, and this value, we will be getting the constant term. So that constant term will be your numerator value. Okay, because here n value is 3. When n value is 3, the constant that will be coming after multiplying these three terms will be given by the uh, numerator value. But here it is written like, in the question it is written like, you need to find out the digital filter. Okay, so you need to find out the digital filter by using impulse invariant transformation. So once we have designed this analog transfer function of a low pass filter with respect to the given specification, we need to convert this analog transfer function to a digital transfer function. Okay, so we need to convert this analog transfer function to a digital transfer function by using impulse invariance method. Okay, so by using impulse invariance method we need to convert. So in impulse invariance method, what we were having the mapping formula is, we should be having different poles separately. Okay, so we need to use partial fraction method to separate all the poles. So by using partial fraction method we will be separating all the poles, and then we will be getting the final representation of h of s as this. Okay, so after separating the all the poles separately, we can get this as the representation. So and once we have separated it out, we can replace this f1 upon s minus p, the pole location in case of analog will be replaced by a digital term, that is 1 upon 1 minus e to the power pit into z inverse. If t is not given, okay, so that will be t is not given, 1 second will be considered into the question. Okay, once we have replaced all the terms, we can get whatever transfer function that will be a uh, digital transfer function of a low pass filter. Okay, so after simplification we can get this. Okay, so this will be our overall required transfer function in case of digital domain. Okay, so this is how we should be proceeding to solve the numerical problems. In the next class also we will be seeing some numerical problems, like how we can further correlate with the theory part and the numerical part. Okay, if you have any doubt you can ask.